Have you ever wondered how to send the most professional pay applications, invoices, to your sophisticated clients? Well, in this video, I'm gonna break it all down. And again, the link for this template is in the description. So this is extremely important, especially if you have a sophisticated client. This could be done for residential. It also, of course, needs to be done if you're doing anything in the commercial realm of construction. This is the same Excel file that I've used to bill the 40,000 square foot auto dealership renovation for a multi-billion-dollar company, all the way down to the doctor's office, the orthodontics office, the bank, inside of Walmart, the smaller little projects, the tenant improvements that I've done. Okay, so the first step is to download it. JessieLaneConsulting.com has all the templates that you need. You guys have bought like 300 or 400 downloads so far on this thing, which is absolutely insane. Thank you so much. So if you have this template already, go ahead and open it and remember to enable macros. So you'll click the template here and this little screen pops up. So you want to make sure to enable macros. Macros are just something that was built into this spreadsheet. So there's buttons you can click and it just writes code automatically. So make sure to enable macros or else those buttons won't work. Okay, so when you first open this spreadsheet, you're gonna see all these things. Then the right side of the page here is just a bunch of kind of general instructions of actually how to use this spreadsheet. I'm gonna pinch to zoom because I have a Mac on my trackpad, and I'm just gonna show this left side. And you can see there's actually two tabs. So here on the bottom, you can see the application for payment tab, and that's the tab that we're on. That is the actual application for payment, which is the front page, page number 1 out of 2 that the client's gonna see first. Then you can go over to the continuation sheet, and if you zoom in a little bit here, you can see I've already broken down the divisions of construction. Now, if you're doing residential, it might be slightly different, where maybe you could do different areas of the project, like the kitchen, or maybe say the wood framing, the drywall, the painting. You kind of break it down per scope. But with commercial construction, it's broken down into divisions of construction. Number 1, we have our general conditions, and then we have site work, concrete, masonry, metals, wood and plastics, thermal and moisture, doors and windows, finishes, specialties, equipment, furnishings, special construction, fire suppression, plumbing, HVAC, and electrical. And then you want to, most importantly, include your overhead and your general contractor's fee. Okay, so that can be a separate line. You can break it down. You can do overhead, you can do GC fee in 2 different lines. It is up to you. So moving back over to page number 1, the first things that you want to do is over here in the top left, you want to put your client's information. Then over here, you want the project. So the project name, the project address. So say you're building the new Tesla facility, you put that here. And then the architect's information, also important if you're doing larger projects or even smaller projects, but there's an architect, a design person. Sometimes they'll need to sign off on that. A lot of times it doesn't really matter if you're just billing directly to the client, so put their info here if you'd like. Now, the application number. This is application number 1. We're gonna get to showing you how to do the next pay applications because you're gonna use the first pay application to build off of. It's actually really cool how this spreadsheet works. In commercial construction, we bill once a month. So the period 2, I'm gonna put the last day of the month. The contract date, when you actually sign the contract, you can put that right about there. And then you wanna move down here. Under number 1, you can see the original contract sum. So let's just say $100,000. Your contract, this is a $100,000 project. Keep it simple, you can plug that in right there. Okay, if the project requires retainage, you'll plug that in here. Say a typical retainage percentage is about 10%. If there is retainage, plug it in here. If it's 5%, change it to a 5. In this case, we're gonna make it a 0 to keep this tutorial simple. But if there is retainage, this spreadsheet will take care of all the math automatically. You don't need to worry about anything else because it just comes down here to total earned less retainage, and it does it for you automatically. The less previous certificates for payment section, you're gonna leave blank for now, obviously, because this is your first pay application. When it's the second pay application, this will automatically get transferred over with the macros. The current payment due is actually what the client's gonna look for every single time. So you're gonna wanna tell them, look at line number 8, that's how much we're actually invoicing for this month. Okay, and this right section over here is going to be where you're going to actually sign. If the client requires a notarized signature, this is where it's going to happen. So you'll actually PDF this, which I'll show you how to do, and you'll print it out. You have to manually or physically sign it, have a notary stamp it, date it, have them sign it, and if the architect is required to sign off, this bottom right portion is where they would sign off. For example, if you don't need the architect to sign off, which sometimes it's like you really, on these smaller jobs, maybe $250,000 and under, or even sometimes $500,000. I mean, I've done $500,000 jobs. It's like the architect doesn't really need to sign all the pay applications. It's depending on your location and who you're working for, who your client is, and your local codes and stuff like that. But so you can actually delete this entire section by selecting it all and coming up here to the clear and then clear all, and it'll just completely wipe it out. So now we're going to move over to the continuation sheet. So this is the continuation sheet. So from your contract, you're going to want to pull in these scheduled values. So the scheduled value, say for general conditions, you have $22,000. So you type in 22,000, click enter, and it's going to pop that in. Maybe site work is 12,000 and blah, blah, blah. Let's just do finishes. You got 55,000. What are we at? 89. So we need another 11. Let's make 11 an overhead. This is just an example. This is the scheduled values. This is a $100,000 contract. We got scheduled values, and now we need to plug those in. Now we need to bill against those scheduled values. So if this is your first pay application, there's going to be a negotiation with your client to whether or not you can actually get a deposit. So we're going to bill against these values. So maybe you want to bill, let's just keep it small, $2,200. So put $2,200 under this period. I'm going to click enter, and you can see that's 10% of the 22,000, of course. And you can kind of go through 1,200, go down. We'll do 5,500, go down, and we'll do 1,100, go down. Okay, so now we have $90,000 balance to finish. We have a $10,000, 10% this period application for payment. Now, if you go to the front page, you can see the current payment due. Remember line 8, that's what your client's gonna look at, is $10,000. Line number 9, the balance to finish, which would include retainage, is $90,000. Okay, so far so good, right? We're still recording QuickTime. Audio's still good. You're still good. You're still good. All right, cool. Everyone's happy. All right. Okay, so you have everything set. You have your first page all looking good. You ran all your numbers. There's no change orders yet. We'll go over that on next month's billing, which will be in about 60 seconds from now, hopefully. And then we have everything on the second page listed out where this period billing is all plugged in. So now we need to PDF it. And if the client requires a notary and your signature, then you'll print it out, sign it, you'll scan it. I just use like Turbo Scan on my phone, and I just airdrop it to my Mac. There's quicker ways to do things. You don't have to print it, scan it, or email it to yourself. Just get these apps that will help you. Really, all you need is a laptop and a phone, and you can do millions of dollars worth of construction projects from your condo table. So long story short, we're gonna go File, Save As. You wanna make sure your print area is set up. So if there's any reason that you need to actually edit anything here, which I wouldn't necessarily recommend, but you can go here to Tools, Protection, and you can click Unprotect, and this will actually allow you to click in here, and you can see the actual formulas to all of these things, and you can go ahead and edit that and set your print area and just different things like that. But I'm gonna go back to Tools, Protection, and Protect Sheet, and click OK. And that's gonna just lock everything in so your team or you accidentally won't make any mistakes. So we're gonna go to File, Save As. We're gonna change the file format. Of course, I'm doing this on a Mac. The same applies to a Windows computer. Just wanna change your file format that you're exporting to a PDF. And you're gonna click Workbook, not just the one sheet. So it's gonna print both pages. Now I'm gonna just label it Pay App Number 1, which is perfect. And I'm gonna literally just click Save, boom. So you can see, and of course you want to save this into your file format structure for that project, have a subfolder under the project called Pay Applications, have subfolders under Pay Applications called Pay App Number 1, Pay App Number 2, these are the folder names, and then for example, we're under the Pay App Number 1 subfolder from that job. So it's the job name, and then you have all your folders for that job, like your submittals, your pay applications, your drawings, your subcontractor bids. That's kind of what I do with all the different folders. So you click pay applications, and then you're gonna go into pay app number 1, pay app number 2, pay app number 3 folders, subfolders. So pay app number 1, you can see here is a PDF. I'm gonna click the space bar on my Mac to kind of quick view that. You see here we've deleted out this page, and you can see page number 2, and there actually is a third page which you can just delete. I'm gonna double click this real fast to open it into preview. If you make sure your thumbnails are visible on the left side, you can see I can click page number 3 and literally just click the delete button. Then I'm gonna click Command S. If I'm moving too fast, I'm so sorry, but all Command S is file save. It's the same thing. So once that's saved, you can just X it out. You can see here, if I click spacebar again, it's just 2 pages. Okay, so you have pay app number 1, you can print it out, or you can send this directly to your client. You're good to go. Now the fun part, we want to create pay app number 2 from pay app number 1. Want to do a quick commercial break? No, I'm just kidding. No, we're good. I'm rolling. So it's time to create pay app number 2. What you're gonna do is open pay app number 1 again. So there's a really fun portion to this spreadsheet, and it's up here under application for payment, ribbon. This is your ribbon, they call it, on the top of your screen. So you're gonna click that, and you're gonna see these little green buttons. There's create next pay app, create a new pay app, but you really wanna create the next pay app here. There's also a button where you can click between the 2 screens. These are technically an AIA format kind of document, and they're called G702 and G703. That's just kind of a shortcut. I think you actually print directly with this button right here, and there's some instructions here if you want to click that button. But what we're gonna do, and hopefully you're still with me, we're rocking and rolling, make sure to actually get the template and give the video a like. Definitely give this video a like. It's very important for the YouTube algorithm if you want this YouTube channel to keep being here. Okay, so you want to go ahead and save this file. Now I can click Command S on a Mac or Control S if you're on a Windows, or just go to File and click Save. Now you're gonna get this privacy warning that pops up. I don't understand honestly why it is. It's just something about macros. So just click OK. So we have pay app number 1 open. We're gonna go to the top on this ribbon. There's an application for payment button, which is gonna open this ribbon right here with a bunch of different really cool buttons. Now we're gonna use this button right here, create the next pay app. So once you click create next pay app, this window is gonna pop up, and you of course wanna give it a name. And by the way, over here you can see that it's an .xlsm. That's an XLS file, which is an Excel file, but M, it's macro enabled. So you wanna make sure that your file format, it always has the M at the end, because the macros need to be enabled. So I'm gonna go pay app number 2, and it's right here just in that project folder, for example. And I do want to make sure that this is changed to an macro enabled workbook, and then you're gonna click save. Okay, this is the next pop-up window. So you can't make it bigger for some reason, but if you can try to see this here, I can't even zoom in, but maybe John can zoom in on the editing. So application number, you're gonna click the number 2, or if this is the 5th, you're gonna click 5. Period 2, you're gonna go ahead and type that maybe next month. So last month was September, you can just go October 31. Okay, so here it says enter total amount of additive change orders approved this month. So let's just say we had a grand of change orders on this project. The client wanted to add a bunch of tile and somewhere, so whatever, we added it in. So if you have any deductive change orders, say you have to give a client back some money, you'll put that in here. For this example, we'll leave it off to keep things a little bit more simple. So you're gonna click OK, and this is gonna, if you notice, it just plugged in $1,000 automatically on the total approved this month. I have a boat going by. I can see all the boats, all the jet skis from this beautiful new condo, which I will do a video unveiling this beautiful condo very soon. This total approved this month, $1,000, is actually gonna move up to total changes approved in previous months by the owner on pay app number 3, because it's gonna bump up automatically with the things that you enter in that pop-up window. So if you remember from pay app number 1, we filled out this period column, and all of those values, those dollar values, have moved over to from the previous application. That automatically happens with the macro enabled workbook. So now this period, we're gonna bill for what happened this month, or last month, because maybe you're billing on the 1st or the 5th of the month, but it's for the month prior. It's always for the month prior. So this month you're gonna plug in, let's just, I'm just gonna keep this really simple, $100, $100, $100, $100, obviously, hopefully it's a little bit more than that, and $100. Okay, just for fun. Okay, after you put in this period's numbers or beforehand, you wanna put in the change order. So whatever the change order was, you can say change order, but type in what it was, like the extra tile or whatever. So tile in bathroom, I don't know, whatever. You're gonna go, the scheduled value is of course $1,000. So you're adding lines to the scheduled values because you're adding to the contract amount. So you're not gonna bill for it maybe this month because the work isn't complete. So we're gonna leave this period portion blank. Now let's take a look at the front page and see what's actually happening. So you can see the original contract sum is $100,000. The net change by change orders is $1,000. The net change meaning if you had any credits to the client for $100, then this would be $900, off the 1,000. But we're not doing that right now. Just keep things a little bit more simple. The contract sum to date, now you've agreed, your contract has gone up by $1,000 for the extra tile. And then the total completed and stored to date is $10,400 because you billed for $10,000 in your first pay application. Now you're billing in your second pay application, which, more than likely this would be like another 10 or 20 grand. But anyway, I'm just doing $400 just to keep it clean. So if there is retainage, you can actually plug that number in here. So say it's 5%, you plug in 5%, and you can see all the numbers would calculate the total earned less retainage and all these things. But for right now, we're gonna just change it back to 0 and click away. And then you can see the total earned less retainage is $10,400 total. And less previous certificates for payment, you see the 10,000 was automatically transferred over. So the current payment due, it's $400 because we put $100 in 4 different categories for this period, and we didn't bill for the change order. For example, let's bill for the change order. Let's go, I want $500 of this change order. Type it in this period, click enter or just click away. And you come back over here to application for payment, and you can see payment due is $900. Okay, the balance to finish is $90,100. And you can see the total approved change orders this month is 1,000, and that'll move up on pay application number 3 to total changes approved in the previous months, because next month this will be the previous month. Now this, understand, is a very complex, this is one of the more complex things that I review when my project managers complete this. I always want to make sure that I run the numbers. You as a business owner or project manager or estimator or superintendent, you always want to make sure that you run the numbers, even though this is a very smart spreadsheet. Again, the link for it is in the description if you want to buy it. It's like not that expensive, and I've run millions of dollars worth of pay applications through this thing, and it's worked absolutely great. If you have any questions, maybe leave a comment, or you can always schedule a consultation call with me, jesseLaneConsulting.com. You can schedule a 30-minute or a 60-minute, and I would love to do a video call with you. I've talked to, probably 30, 40, 50 of you people on a Zoom call all across the world, Australia, France, like all across the United States, South America. There's been amazing people who want to start contracting businesses, and it's been really my pleasure hearing your, oh gosh, I'm so sorry, dude. Hearing your feedback has been absolutely fantastic. I don't think I missed anything. The materials presently stored, that's like if you have materials that you dropped off to the site, you're like, okay, I put $500 worth of materials. You click that and you're gonna bill for that. So this is actually, the $900 goes up to $1,400 because you're billing for the materials. And then all those will move over to the from previous applications when you do pay app number 3. Again, if you have any questions, put in a comment or schedule a consult call with me, and I'll see you in the next video.